questions, please. Thank you. Today we're talking about job opportunities and multiple streams of income. I know for some people, when you hear multiple streams of income, you're confused. You're just like, oh, okay, water, money, what's the relation? I think before we jump into this, I want you to bear in mind and think about this. I want you to think about your financial capacity as we have this discussion. Okay? We're together?
Yes.
Okay. So, a job is basically a paid position of employment. A paid position of employment. And a job could also be you doing part-time work and you still get compensated for the time and the effort that you put into it. But it's one thing which is sometimes a foreign concept to a lot of students who come in first year, second year, third year. You have no idea about investments, which is why we have the Drive Club. You have no idea how to grow your money. Maybe you're a sugar baby. Maybe your parents love you enough to always send you the money. But let me tell you one thing. You get to a point and your parents will stop sending you money. Trust me. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about is the types of jobs you can get as students. I know when you hear work, you're also thinking about everything Keturah was talking about, which was pulling out all 5,000 achievements that she has. So you're thinking in your head, if I'm studying for the first 22 hours, what about the last 2 hours of my day? It's actually possible, because I personally have done it. I worked, I studied, I did everything. Even during the time of defending my degree, I was working. I was actually going to work every day. My teacher calls me and I'm just like, no, I'm on the other side of town. I could not tell him, oh yeah, I'm at my job. yeah, but so as well. You always tell me, you come up with something. And we're going to break down what jobs are. So now, when you come to Moscow, the first concept that's going to be foreign to you is how to get a job. Because when you go back home, the first, I think, experience you'd have when people talk about jobs is experience. Maybe you're supposed to have a paper, because we'll advertise and tell you, oh, okay, hi, we need someone with 2 years experience, someone who's recently graduated. You should have had maybe met Obama, maybe changed the world, discovered the cure for AIDS. You must be under the age of 20. Exactly. So now, they never take into account that we have a culture back home where it doesn't exactly, I can say, teach us or educate us on how to go about adulting. This is why when he was talking about you becoming self-aware because you've been granted the freedom to do all these things leads you to doing a lot of crazy things. And trust me, I've also had my fair share of crazy adventures. Traveled in the middle of the night because I wanted to see the sun rise in a different city, went for a party, done a lot of crazy things. But when it's coming to jobs and the multiple streams of income here in Moscow, it's possible for you as a student with no experience at all to get a job, okay? So there are different types of jobs out there. There's a full-time job, a part-time job, and a remote job, okay? So a full-time job is going to require you to put in more hours. They want you to be present, they want you to be responding to emails, calling clients, depending entirely on the job, okay? So you will be present in the company. But then at the end of the day, you're a student. It's possible for you to have a full-time job, but on a different schedule. With the part-time jobs, you can work almost everywhere. Because there's some places that will hire you and they'll tell you, okay, we just want you to come for 4 hours a day. And this is say 20 hours a week. And in the course of the month, we're going to be paying you maybe 60,000 rubles. It's possible. Yes, 60,000 rubles. There's some people I know who make about, no, I'm not going to say about, over 120,000 rubles and they put in less than 15 hours a week. And when I asked them, oh yeah, what experience did you bring to the table? They just spoke. It's the confidence. It's not about, oh, no, I'm in school, no, I'm in that. When you're going there, when you're having your interviews, when you're having the discussions with the people, they're not going to look at what is hindering you, what your limitations are. They're asking you what you bring to the table. It's like a relationship, except you're going to get compensated for it. That's the difference. So, with the part-time jobs, there are different times, there are different schedules, and as well we have the remote jobs, which is, I think, one of my favorite things. Because at the end of the day, you do not have to leave the comfort of your home. You can work on your PC. You can get numerous kinds of jobs. Because automatically, we're an English-speaking country. We come from an English-speaking country. So you can work either as an English teacher, maybe you have a couple of students, you teach them 3-4 times a week. You don't have to see their faces. You don't have to be worried about walking in the snow, fighting with COVID, I think 22 or whatever it is now. You don't have to worry about a lot of other things like transportation because you're doing it from the comfort of your home. And that's what's important. You need to understand that there are different opportunities and there are better opportunities for you here. You cannot have a mindset from back home and expect to flourish here. It's different. That's why we have a cultural shock. We have the people who are going to smoke. One of my, we can say, former students who was like 14 years old, he smokes. He was pulling out a cigarette and just like, okay, bullish. I'm just like, bullish what? There was a camera at the time, so I know I don't smoke. But when we're looking at all these things, it is possible. So now, what's going to help you get a job in Moscow? Do you have to, for lack of a better word, sleep with anyone? No. Do you have to, I don't know what, Joseph was talking about licking someone? No, you don't have to do that. The first thing that you have to do is work on your CV. And the CV is a curriculum vitae or a resume. So basically this summarizes all your achievements up to that point. For me, back home, I actually used to work while, not exactly while in school, but I joined a club called Junior Achievers where we used to actually make sales and all that. Yeah, see? And, you know, going forward, when I graduated, I started working for an uncle of mine, which was not so fun because when relatives hire you, they try to, you know, embezzle your funds, find a way to steal money from you. But that's like, but then at the end of the day, it's experience. All of you at some point have maybe, let's just say, taken care of someone. Let's just say you've tutored someone, you've helped someone with the subject. And at the end of the day, they're not going to tell you that it's an important thing. Because it is. When you're coming down with your CV, you're writing all your professional and academic history. So in terms of professional, if you've ever taken care of maybe your siblings, maybe someone else's child, or you've taken care of a parent, you can just say, instead of saying, oh, I was a babysitter, you under-glorified, you just say, okay, I am able to manage, you know, a group of people. I can manage a person's day-to-day life. It's the same thing, you're babysitting, but we don't need to know that. You have to understand that some of your experiences and the way you speak about your experiences are what can help you get the job. Okay? Are we together? Okay. So now we're going to jump to qualifications and skills. And if it's one of the easiest jobs you can ever get in Moscow, it's a teaching job. You speak English. You win it. Because trust me, you cannot go there and just say, oh, I can teach. You'll be eyeing the whole time. And trust me, it's not about what you bring to the table. It's the confidence that you bring when you're bringing whatever peanuts you're bringing to the table. And it's actually helped me get a lot of good jobs. I was just bluffing. There was even a time when they asked me, oh, have you worked with them? I'm like, yeah. I was actually tutoring students back home. No. I was just actually helping my friends with mathematics. They had issues with history. They had issues with chemistry. I just happened to be more or well-versed at the subject. I just added it there. Yes, I was able to teach these people. I was able to get them from point A to point B. I had students. I'm not going to pay me for it. But it helps you. Okay? We're together?
We're together.
Okay. So now, there are different kinds of job opportunities that you can get in Moscow. We have English teacher, construction worker, call center operator, sales manager, copywriter, social media manager, model, and many more. I know when you hear construction worker, automatically you're thinking, oh, they expect me to drive maybe a crane. No. There are certain jobs that you can do that don't require you to have a lot of experience. You just help with some operations on the side. For example, maybe they want you to paint the wall. It's going to be considered as you being part of the project. Okay? They're not expecting you to build the Eiffel Tower or anything of that sort. Okay? So now, coming to call center operator, this is one of the, I'd say, easiest jobs, but it's also stressful. Because I once worked as a call center operator, and basically what they expect you to do is you talk to clients, and you'd be talking to clients for 9 hours straight. You catch a break maybe once for a good 45 minutes, you have your 2 breaks for 10 minutes every 2 hours. At some point, the manager will just come, you're not doing anything seriously, let's all stand for an hour until someone makes a sale. So you'll be standing there, there's music in the background, you have to be louder than the music, the client is talking to you and is asking you all these questions. But then you remember one thing, you want the money. You can't afford the life that you want to live, so you want to make the money. So you have to make your ends meet. That's the whole point of having jobs. Jobs are basically hustles. If we're looking at sales manager, you are just basically selling a product that the company has. All of you here are wearing something or have bought something that someone just took. Maybe they went to Adobe Premiere Pro or they shot in a camera and they showed you and you bought it. A portion of you, maybe let's just say for example, have iPhones. A portion of you have suits, you have clothes, you have, I don't know what you buy in your secret time, but you know what you buy. And it's possible. When you're looking at a person who's, let's say for example, copywriter, these are people who, you're basically writing. If you've had writing skills, it's easy for you to take the job. You can work as an editor, you can work as a copywriter, the pay is actually good, and you can actually also work remote. There's a job where I think they offered me, is it 70,000 or 80,000? And I just had to like send 5 or some, 20 articles in a month or something like that. And now we move on to social media manager. We all have social media. The way you guys post your content, you go to your restaurants, on your dates, you're on TikTok, you're watching football, all these things. You're able to give these updates, you're able to talk about these things, you have your WhatsApp statuses. These are actual jobs. And I think I came late, not exactly late to understanding that it's an actual skill, but there's a person who was at the company and they're getting paid to just post TikToks. I'm there the whole day working, screaming to clients who speak either Hindi, Chinese, I'm on translators, I'm fighting and screaming, and she's just there on TikTok. And she's having fun in her little corner. So you're just sitting there and you say, oh, okay. And she's super excited to tell you how many other videos she's made. And that says something. Like, jobs are literally in everything you do, even working as a model. One of my really good friends is a model. And when she started out, she was getting, I don't say crappy jobs, but they pay her maybe 4,000, 5,000 for maybe 2-3 hours. And now, not disclosing too much, she's making over 50,000 a shoot. Sometimes the shoots are just maybe 2-3 hours. Sometimes they love her so much, they'll have 3 shoots in one day. There was a time where a company actually flew her out to Sochi because they wanted her. The same way Katura was saying you have to put in the effort. That's her craft, that's her thing. You people need to understand that when you're coming and going for the job opportunities that you have here in Moscow, you need to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Your weaknesses are also part of the things that can help you either get a job or lose a job. You can be sloppy. You can be a late comer. You can be, let's just say, you're not confident enough to talk to clients. Are these things that you can work on? But you know the bigger question I've always asked myself? Is the money worth it? It's always about the money. It's not about the number of hours that you have to sacrifice. It's about what you can do when the money comes. No one is going to be paying you 100,000 rubles for going to Chitoe Taya Tamiachi, getting your PIATs, your studios, your troikas. Not everyone can get the PIATs the whole semester. It's not possible. It is possible, but like, how many people do you know really? Yeah. And now, we move on to, is it possible to balance school with a job? Yes, it is. You just have to pick a job that works with one, your schedule. Two, you need to understand that when you are planning out your life, the short-term and the long-term goals, having a job is part of the planning. If you know that you work for 8 hours a day, let's just say you have a night shift job, and you're working from about 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and all your classes start at maybe 12 to 6. So between all that time, you have to find a way to plan out your life, because with the job comes other stresses. Like, not only is the job also expecting you to bring your PIATs, your chitiris, your troikas. Yes, they're also going to grade you based off of your work. And if it's one thing about the Russians and the work ethic, they can fire you the next day. There's, I forgot what he's called, but I always call him Ronaldo because he looks like Ronaldo. There's this guy who I almost worked for. The only problem was, it felt like he was high on cocaine or something. Because the way he was talking about it, he was advertising the job. And the problem was, he just tells you, if you make one simple mistake, just one, it doesn't even have to be a big thing, I'll fire you. You just leave the job right there and then. I don't care what you're doing, even if you're talking to a client, I just need you to get out. And that's what he said. But then for me, that's when I slowly started understanding that in as much as you want to thrive as an individual working in the different jobs, you also have to be able to identify healthy work environments, toxic work environments. Sometimes when you feel uncomfortable in a space, it's okay to quit. I've quit certain jobs that made me feel uncomfortable. Maybe they were a bit too excited that I was black. Maybe they were a bit too weird and creepy. Like, I think I've had lots of kind of jobs, but nothing scary. But at the end of the day, as you slowly walk through the job market, you get to understand that there are certain places that actually want you to thrive. There are certain individuals you can work for who know you make the money, so they make you happy, because the happier you are, the more money you're generating for them. Okay? And that's what brings us to the dangers of the job market and how to identify the dangers. Number one, I know you're all aware that, I know you all want to make money. I was also excited. That was the first time I received an offer. There's this person who reached out to me. They don't tell you the name. They just say, hi, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Would you like to make 200,000 rubles a week? So 200,000 rubles a week, you're just worried, you're excited, you're just like, okay, yes, I'm interested. But then let me let you know one thing. In as much as there are good jobs, there are also bad jobs. When a job offers you a weird amount of money over a short period of time, those are the red flags. That was what they basically were. They wanted me to be a drug mule, we can say. Oh, just go pick up the drugs from point A, go to point B, take a photo. Then someone's going to do the pickup, and the money hits your account. Okay? So you need to learn to identify the jobs, and the most important thing that you can actually do is reach out. I'm telling you right now, even though you get excited, even though you want to try to hide the opportunity, and you want to make me feel like you want to make the money, don't go for the job, it's not worth it. Because when those same people want to buy the stuff, or they will throw you under the bus, and you'll be the one who'll be stuck. So it's important, as you navigate the market, always seek out someone who's had the experience to ask them, is there anything good about this job? What do you think is wrong about the job offer I've received? It's okay to ask. And in summary to everything, I just want to remind you about one thing. As Zambians, as a new student, maybe second year, maybe third year, whatever year that you're at, it's important for you to learn how to network, so that you'll be learning how to meet more people and maybe you'll be provided with opportunities where you'll be making more money. I learned, and I've had the privilege of connecting some people who got in good jobs. Some people have connected me as well. It's not because it's a competition. I need to remind you one thing. The job market is not a competition. If you can build your fellow member of the community up, take the opportunity. There's nothing that's bringing you down. It's going to provide you with a better opportunity later, because you never know who's going to bless your life. Trust me. And on that note, thank you so much for listening. Do you have any questions? Okay,
just in case others don't know you, and would you perhaps just state maybe a personal contact so we can contact you, just in case we we want a job or some connections.
Okay, that's not a problem. I think I'll ask Akim to display at some point so she can get in touch. Actually, a lot of people get in touch looking for people who are looking for jobs. So whenever you're free, just reach out, or we can find a way to make a platform so like the more I hear about jobs, we can make them available so that you guys are in a safer environment. Because trust me, when you start making the money, it'll be easy for you to make the investments, it'll be easy for you to budget better, because you're increasing the streams of the income that you're coming. Because at that point, if you're getting a job that's paying you, for example, 60,000, and you're also waiting on your, let's just say, profits from Tribe Club, by the time everything's coming together, I'm not saying going to be a millionaire, but I mean, you're on the right track. So that's my number, get in touch, and please, I beg you, not just the hey, how are you? Hey, my name is ABCD, the purpose of this is ABCD, then I can help you. And if you also need any help with your CVs and how to make them, I can actually also help you as well. Okay. Any more questions?
Can we text?
Yes, you can text. That's why you at least write the text in detail so it's easy for me to understand how best I can help you and who I can connect you to. Okay. Thank you.